There's mountains of great research showing that we are accelerating through our use of industry, burning fossil fuels, and all the things we all know would contribute to that anyhow. You know, how much carbon can you throw into the atmosphere before it starts disrupting temperature regulation?
A lot of methane from cows too, especially farmed.
That's a big one. But that's largely due to two things. One, poor farming techniques. Two, feeding cows the wrong things. Three, people just eat too damn much meat. You know, the average American, based on research that I've seen, eats 3 to 5 times more meat a day than they actually need relative to their physical needs. So we've become habitual consumers of too much animal flesh and too much food in general, all of which requires a lot more farming than we really need. And it results in massive amounts of food. Like, we've got enough grain stored around this country to feed a lot of people for a long time. Unfortunately, it's very toxic, poor quality, low nutrition grain. But the point I'm making is, you know, the government keeps subsidizing farms to make more and more of this stuff, and they're stockpiling it. And then it has to be sprayed with pesticides so the bugs don't eat it while it's in storage. And the average, by the time something like pasta or cereal gets to your place, some researchers say it's been sprayed as many as 10 times in warehouses with pesticides to keep it from getting eaten by the bugs in storage. So we've gone through this massive overconsumption, obviously for industrial profit, and we're farming unethically. We're torturing the soil. We're killing off the insects. We're poisoning the waterways. And if we don't come to the realization very, very fast that we must stop putting money into those industries, we must starve them out and make them become ethical and moral. Morals are codes of conducts that are life affirmative. Ethics are code of conducts that may or may not be life affirmative. I was a soldier with a soldier's manual that was the ethics of who you kill and who you don't kill. But when it comes to a moral, we have to be morally conscious with the use of science, because many different scientific endeavors are actually very, very destructive to the planet and to our health. But because the scientists are largely paid by the corporations and that's where they get their money, they, shall we say, push their morals aside to get a paycheck. And the next thing you know, everything that we've got backed by science, not everything, but a lot of the things that are backed by science, be they medical drugs that cause problems or surgical techniques or microwave ovens or whatever the hell it is being pumped out there without any concern for the knock-on effect of it. So we're at a point right now where if enough people don't start supporting organic farmers and rehabilitating the soil and working collaboratively to clean up the waterways and reduce emissions and air pollution, well, you know, we're pushing the system. I mean, as a guy that used to race cars, I'm sure you know what a tachometer is for in a car. The red line on any car is set by the manufacturer at the point at which, if the RPMs go above that, the engine's capacity to hold itself together is no longer reliable. You can float a valve or put a hole in a piston or have a crank rod give up, or, you know, the system just can't take that much revolutions per minute without modifications. You know, race cars are all hopped up so they can handle high RPM, but even the best race car engine in the world has a red line. So does every motorcycle. You could simply say, we've been pushing the earth to the red line for about the last 50 years. And the question is, how long can you hold your foot to the floor while sitting in your garage without any, effective load on the engine before pieces start flying out and it dies? So that's the state of the soil.
Fuck yeah. Thank